Hey, what is up? Vincent here, and I am super excited to be talking about this with you today. So, a couple years ago, I made a fan-made My Hero Academia tabletop RPG. I released the rules for free. Everything's free for people to check out, enjoy, and since then, we've gotten hundreds of people into our Discord server, and it's been a fun time. But of course, a lot of people that came looking for the My Hero Academia RPG, they've seen it and they see that there's a cool idea there, and I've gotten a lot of compliments from it, but at the same time, it's very bare bones and basic because, quite frankly, I'm not like super, or I wasn't super incentivized to, spend a full-time job's worth of effort into just making this into something when I am managing a job and I have a full-time job with Vindicated, essentially, where I'm having to make games and also do so. This was a lot of work, even to just spit out something like this. It's currently 9 pages, and it is kind of based off of the Otherworld system. Not kinda, it is. It's using the Otherworlds engine, the tabletop game Otherworlds, which the rules, you can get the access to the Google documents for only $1 on Patreon currently. That might be something I get rid of at some point because it's kind of a crazy deal. Or you can get the full PDF from our website. It is paid, but it's definitely worth it. It comes with art, comes with bookmarks, so you can quickly navigate through it, and it's just a lot more of a pleasant experience. But, of course, I'm a huge My Hero Academia fan. I'm a fan of anime, and I really like the idea that this is going, and clearly a lot of other people like the idea as well. So I've been recently inspired to sort of retool this and really try to up the ante and make it much better. But to do that, I'm sort of spinning it into what I'm calling Zero to Hero. So that's what this is, and I haven't done one of these really before. It's sort of like my own little game designer's diary, I guess is what they call it. I definitely show like behind the scenes and stuff, but not quite to this extent where I'm just giving you like the nitty gritty details for those that are interested in that. But essentially, even though this uses the Otherworld's engine, it does have some differences. You have like your school clique, which gives you different things if you're popular, if you're the jock, if you're a nerd, artist, emo, etc. You have your general grades that you have, which is different than in Otherworlds. You have your body type. So you can choose if you wanted to be slim, average, fit, or heavy. And then you also have story ties, which is a fun way to see like who your nemesis and rivals are, who you distrust, who your crush is, stuff like that. And then we have some sample quirks. We have your class skills. And yeah, that's the main thing. I mean, we also have the leveling up here. And we've had most people try to figure out this system just using this and not going off of Otherworlds at all, which I understand. It can be scary to, you're limited on funds, and it can be scary to make a payment that will essentially go to waste if you don't like the rule system, or if you just, I don't know, if it's like too much work for you or something like that. So that's why I feel like it's important for me to take this bare bones and to make it something that's a finalized game, like something that looks amazing, feels amazing, easy to navigate, a good experience from beginning to end. No more having to like travel through these different links and get different books here and there and hoping that this works with this and stuff like that. I understand that that's tough. So that's what the process of Zero to Hero is. Now, the name may change by the time it's finished, but so far I like it. I think it encapsulates like what I'm going for with it, and it is a unique name among the different games I've made for Vindicated. You don't have to worry about reading this is just some stuff I need to make sure that I do. So like, for example, I need to change so I have an InDesign document, and I also have this document. So and I'm kind of like working based off of where I'm at and kind of putting it together, stuff like that. So those are just like certain ideas. I got character ideas I'm working on. These are things that need to be sure that are added, so you understand how health works, durability, define what an epic enemy is, resting, just some of your basic stuff, which is in the Otherworld's core rulebook. And then this, I don't know exactly how to incorporate yet, but the switch is everything that's slightly different. So for example, a booting to looting is explaining how like since this is more My Hero Academia inspired, it's not about like beating up people and looting their bodies. It's about sort of like having the career of a pro hero and pursuing like missions and then actually receiving your rewards that way, and not from like getting a fire sword from somebody that you beat up, that kind of thing. Though that is still fun, of course. Just different strokes for different folks, based off of what the system is. Drawbacks to your powers, which those familiar with our newest game, Black Paper Moon, might be familiar with that. So in a weird way, Zero Day Hero is sort of like an in-between Black Paper Moon and other worlds. So like Black Paper Moon is extremely fast, simple, pick up and play. You have the box with you, drop it on the table. You can just start playing. 5 minutes of character creation, and it's like boom, boom, boom. You're ready to go. Otherworld's a bit more tactical, a bit more methodical. You can literally dive into the pages and figure out how you want to make your character and really specify a lot. And it's a very much like here's how everything is. Whereas this one has a bit of a merge between the two. It has some of the tactics and methodology of Otherworlds, and it has a lot of that, but in some ways it has some of the more like create your own powers and the drawback system, and giving you a lot of sort of narrative about how you want to portray your character with your superpowers and stuff. So I have different examples of some different drawbacks here. We have like you struggle to control your power, you have limited energy, so it drains your power with that. It causes injury to use your powers, so this would be similar to like blood magic and something else where it actually drains part of your life force to use. Maybe you need some sort of natural component to do your power. It can make you nauseous, so people familiar with like Uraraka and Belly Button Boy, whatever his name is, would be familiar with that one. And then we also have sight. So as you use your power, you have to maintain eyesight with your target, so something similar to Aizawa there. Missions. This is displaying the different missions that you go on. Training, provisional hero license. You have top rank, upper rank, middle rank, lower rank. You also have hero tech instead of your like standard equipment, which is currently your substandard hero tech, your standard hero tech, and your ace hero tech. So you have different things here, like your energy regulator MK3 gives your energy +7, so some basic equipment that you kind of can understand and use throughout the game, if that's like how you want to play the game. We also have like inventory, carrying capacity. This might be renamed to like attacker, because I saw that's how it was in the old thing, but essentially it's like your offense based. In this one, so like Otherworlds, you have tons of skill branches and you form your own skill tree from it. Whereas currently with Zero to Hero, it's based off of like you pick one of 3 main roles, similar to like Overwatch. You choose that skill tree, and then that's like what your main focus is in conjunction with your power. So while there will be other people in the same role as you that will have the same skill tree, you guys can still level those up differently. And then it's mostly like your power and your drawback and those things that will help further shape and define who you are and like what role you play in the story and in the gameplay for Zero to Hero. And with this, I created all new abilities. So like with this old one, this is basically just copied and pasted from Otherworlds. And we're gonna still use some of these because these are all tried and true, tested, and like good to go. But I felt like it'd be cool to add some new ones to the mix. So we have aggressive. At the time of taking this skill, -3 health and +3 attack bonus. Battle Glee, burst down, pay 5 energy to make an additional attack. Double attack, finisher, Mad Dog. So this is like pure. This is like DPS. Like if you're into DPS, like you want to be like Bakugo, running guns blazing and just blow things up. You can pick up something like Shockwave, which increases the radius of your power the more your tier levels unlock. So you're like your tier levels will be explained in the game, but quite simply, level 1 is tier 1. Level 5 is tier 2, then level 10, then level 15, then level 20, and that unlocks each of the tiers, which will make your explosions even bigger. We also have Pinnacle Gambit, which is a very fun ability. Call odds or evens, not events. Of course, we'll have an editor go through this before it's finalized, but call odds or evens before you make an attack roll. If the total results is what you rolled, odds or evens, then your attack is doubled. Otherwise, it's negated, limit once per day. So you can really just go hard in the mother effing paint with this one. And I kind of hate myself for saying that, but we're gonna carry on because that's what we do here. Defense, you have a bunch of defensive stuff. Who could have guessed? You have down but not out, which is fun. Whenever you're reduced to 0 health, you can still take your turn, but your speed becomes 1. Additionally, you may only roll 1 die. So that way you can't just like roll explosively like from the ground, but you can still like be in the fight. And then you still make your death challenges as normal. You have not today. You may re-roll one of your death challenges per day. You can provoke people, recharge, strong counter, stand your ground. So this is all about being able to hold your ground and be defensive, be the tank. And then your support skill tree has a lot of support-based stuff. So who would have thought? So one of my favorite ones is Conductor. As you're willing, friendly units may use your energy if you're within tier level times 10 feet of them. So that's really fun. Double Bubble was funny because I had like a double for each of the skill trees, and that was the last one I did. So the aggressive one has double attack, and then we have double defend. And then somehow I ended up with double bubble. I guess I was thinking like double trouble, but that was like used already in Otherworld, so I was trying to think of something else. Turns out there's not much that rhymes with double outside of trouble, so I was like, okay, double bubble. But it actually became a very interesting ability, so I'm pretty happy with it. For 1 AP, which is your action points, create a bubble made by either hero tech or your power, whichever makes more sense. Everything in the bubble takes and deals half damage rounded up. The bubble lasts for 1 round per tier level, limit twice per day. Because it has to be twice per day, because it's double bubble. You also get energy drinks, Mariner, so you can swim underwater. Silver Lining is very interesting for those that like more of the role-playing and narrative side of things. Regardless of how tough a situation gets, you can always find a way out or something to get past the current challenge. Even if the chances are low, when in tough circumstances, you can invoke this skill to have aid from the World Master in telling you a narrow but possible way to overcome a present challenge. There's also manager material. Force any roll to be re-rolled before it's applied. Limit once per day. So originally this was going to be called Mastermind, which was an old, I think it might be an ability in Otherworlds currently actually, but I know it started off like 10 years ago. It was one of the first abilities I ever made. And I just felt like Mastermind felt like something that needed to be repeatable. Because it just, if you're a Mastermind, you're just constantly a Mastermind. So I thought that the verbiage didn't quite work out, but manager material I thought was kind of funny, but it also like works and makes sense, and I felt like it kind of got across what I wanted to get across. We're also bringing back combat maneuvers, which are from Otherworlds. These are basically the same, except I got rid of some and I renamed others. So execution is called Breaker, deals double damage. Boom is a new one, which doubles the range or radius of your attack or effect. So that combined with some other stuff in this game, like with Shockwave, can make some massive explosions and some massive fun, which I feel like is on theme for something like My Hero Academia. There's also Overcome, which defeats the attacked enemy as long as they're not an epic enemy. Then you also have your Hero's Moment, which defeats all nearby enemies, including an epic enemy, or grants you a new ability or something equally awesome. So there's a lot of room in here to have fun, a lot of room where it gives you structure, but also leeway to do what you want. So you're not completely railroaded, but you also aren't like left out in the middle of nowhere where you have no idea what to do. We also have this Friends and Enemies section, which I currently have the Thugs, we got the Brawlers, we have the Gunmen, we have a Mutant Ninja Swordsman, which may be a reference to something else, and then we'll have some enemy variants that you can do as well. For example, you can do the Gunman, which you can level up to a Mobster. We have the Brawler levels up to the Beefer, and then the Thug goes to the Goon. So you can make those guys stronger. And then we'll have variants where you can just apply like superpowers to any of the guys. So if you fight 3 different Thugs, you could apply a variant to one where he has fire powers, for example. So he has like pyrokinesis, and that just further mixes up things. Because I think that's like a highlight of Otherworlds that a lot of people don't talk about. And partially that might be on me not talking about it enough. But I think that's something that's pretty unique to the system that I haven't really seen another game do. I was inspired by Borderlands on that one, like the idea that you can keep making several encounters and there's thousands of combinations for what you see. So I'm really excited about that. But that is what we have over here. Let me see if I can switch off to our other document real quick. Alright, so we're in this InDesign document here. We have the basic cover, Zero to Hero, designed by Vincent Baker. This might get a logo upgrade. This is sort of a placeholder at the moment. We have our like little credit section, word from an author, table of contents, which is currently just the Otherworlds one copied and pasted. I always have to do this last because you don't know how things will shake up by the end of things. We have the introduction here. We have like the basic rules. These yellow boxes are something new. It's like a speed rule, which essentially is like, I'm trying to toy around with the idea that you can just speed through the book and see the yellow boxes, and they're basically just highlighting like fast and easy rules for you to pick up on and learn. And if you want to go in detail, you can. So like if you want to learn about edge, you can quickly check out this yellow box, read what it does in simplest terms in a single sentence, and then move on. Or if you need to dive in, you can read under it. That's the idea. I'm not sure how useful that will be. I have to see how it shakes out by the time everything's done, written, set up, and then we have the yellow boxes there. We can then see how it goes. But outside of that, I'm not sure. But I'm trying new things because I think it's important to, like, design is a very important element if you know how to use it correctly, and just being able to like pick up on things and just use colors, shapes, layout, everything to help people navigate and help them with their experience is something I'm very interested in and something I'm very thoughtful of. So it's something I'm trying a lot. But a lot of the design elements come after everything's written. So for this book, you won't see art or anything like that because we're still working on designing the characters, designing the art style, stuff like that. And then again, we have some of the basics here. We have your school perks, which I showed earlier. Those will be carrying over, it seems, at least currently. Same with your relationships, your character types, stuff like that. We have powers, which this one you can roll for different powers. You can roll for like a beam type power, corrosion, pyrokinesis, rage, superhuman strength, or a weapon type power. We also have defensive powers, your armor, cryomancy, which is ice magic essentially, invisibility, magnetism, probability manipulation, good for Domino fans out there, superhuman strength. Then we also have support powers. We have absorb, beastkin, power steel, shapeshift, spellcaster, and tempest. A lot of these are purposely fairly vague, so it gives you room to like control exactly how you want that to be for your character. And with it being superpowers, though, there's so much more you can do with it. So I'm curious like how much like I should have like on the chart tables versus like should I have extra ones. And like I've come up with some cool character ideas, and their powers are like very niche, so it wouldn't fit for like the table. Like, so for example, one of my favorite characters I've come up with so far is he can take any toys and make them like animated and like powerful. So for example, he can take a foam sword and hit someone with it, and it would hit very like a bludgeoning weapon. Or you can take like a foam dart gun and shoot someone with it, and it would kill them. Or you can take a stuffed teddy bear and turn it into an actual like teddy bear that will attack people. That actually has like some strength and some danger associated with it. And it's just a very unique power that we don't want like a bunch of people with that power. I like the idea that basically like every power for the most part is like pretty unique to that character. So I'll have to figure out that. And if you have any suggestions when it comes to that, let me know. Like what you would like to see, because there's a few different options I could go with when it comes to that. We also have kind of your basic class skills here carried over. And yeah, so like this is the base document, sort of like what you saw from the Word document up there. But as you can tell, I'm working on adding a lot more things, and there's a lot more to come. And we have some fun hero ideas, and we're looking at this going in our March 2023 slot for Kickstarter. With that being said, we've never done quite as many Kickstarters as we're currently looking at doing next year, and we already have the front of the year pretty top loaded, so there is a chance, I'd say a decent chance, that things will get kind of spread out a bit more than what they're currently planned. But with that being said, we have a lot of our ducks like lined up in a row. We're like way more experienced than before. We've done several successful Kickstarters. We've already done like over a dozen Kickstarters in general that we've launched. We already have the basis for this game system. We've already released Otherworlds, which is play tested and fun and done well, and this uses the bones of that, so it makes this one easier in terms of like setting this one up. And a lot of the other games are in similar places. We have the fan-made Death Note game I made a few years ago, and that's being rebranded as Death's End, and so that one's been tested a lot. We're going to still test it some more. but that one's basically like transferring that one over, making sure that we elaborate and expand, and we fully package it in a fun way that people enjoy. So that's what I'm looking at for Zero to Hero. I do plan on sharing some more stuff, possibly more on Patreon. That's where I normally share all my behind the scenes stuff. I haven't quite done something like this publicly on YouTube, but I know that the My Hero Academia stuff was always public whenever I was talking about the FunMade stuff. So I wanted to share that with you, make sure that you know about it. I do think my plan is to try to do more of these types of videos on YouTube. So if you like this kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe, like, comment. I said that in a weird order, but hey, that's what we got to do here. If you want to see more stuff, and if you want to support what I'm doing so we can have more artwork, better design, more games being made, and expand our operations over here at Vindicated, if you like to see more anime-inspired tabletop games, then I definitely appreciate your support over on Patreon. We also have an amazing Discord community full of anime and gaming fans, and we also play some video games together, and we meet at conventions, we play tabletop games, so it's a fun time. So hopefully I'll see you there, and as always, stay awesome. Hey, what is up? If you're a fan of anime and tabletop games, then be sure to check out our card games, tabletop role-playing games, and even our manga. We have a lot of fun stuff over there for you to check out on our website, VindicateEntertainment.com. We even have a brand new tabletop role-playing game, Black Paper Moon. Check it out, and we'll see you there.